Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. So again, this is I asked for guidance from the Most Highs, and we are at Second Chronicles. This would be chapter 34. Chapter 34, and the book of the law found. Excuse me. Now in the 18th year of his reign, when he had cleansed the land and the house, he set Shaphan the son of Azalah, and Messiah the governor of the city, and Joab the son of Joahaz the recorder, to repair the house of the Lord his God. They came to Hilkiah the high priest, and gave him the money that had been brought into the house of God, which the Levites, the keepers of the threshold, had collected from Manasseh and Ephraim, and from all the remnant of Israel, and from all Judea and Benjamin, and from the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And they, the inhabitants of and they gave it to the workmen who were working in the house of the Lord, and the workmen who were working in the house of the Lord gave it for repairing and restoring the house. They gave it to the carpenters and the builders to buy quarried stone, and timber for binders, and beams for buildings, that their kings of Judah had let go to ruin. And the men did the work faithfully. Over them were set Jahath and Obadiah, the Levites, of the sons of Moriah, and Zechariah and Meshullam, of the sons of the Kohathites, to have oversight. The Levites, all who were skillful with instruments of music, were over the burden bearers, and directed all who did work in every kind of service. And some of the Levites were scribes and officials and gatekeepers. While they were bringing out the money that had been brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord given through Moses. The Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan. Shaphan brought the book to the king, and further reported to the king, all that was committed to your servants they are doing. They have emptied out the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and they have given it into the hand of the overseers and the workmen. The Shaphan the secretary and told the king, Hilkiah the priest has given me a book, and Shaphan read from it before the king. And when the king heard the words of the law, he tore his clothes, and the king commanded Hilkiah, Ahikam the son of Shaphan, Abdon the son of Micaiah, Shaphan the secretary, and Asaiah the king's servant, saying, Go, inquire of the Lord for me and for those who are left in Israel and in Judea, concerning the words of the book that has been found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out on us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord. Do not to do according to all that is written in his book. Hodah, prophecies, disaster. So I don't want to offend anybody, so this might be a time for those who don't want to hear this type of stuff to perhaps, just stop watching, if that's how you feel, So Hilkiah and those whom the king had sent went to Hodiah the prophecies, the wife of Shallum the son of Tokath, son of Hizrah, keeper of the wardrobe, now lived in Jerusalem in the second quarter, and spoke to her on that effect. And she said to them, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, tell the man who sent you to me, Thus says the Lord, Behold, I will bring disaster upon this place and upon its inhabitants, all the curses that are written in the book that was read before the king of Judea, because they have forsaken me and have made offerings to other gods, and that might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath will be poured out on this place, and will not be quenched. But to the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, thus shall you say to him, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, regarding the words that you have heard, because your heart was tender, and you humbled yourself before God when you heard his words against this place and in its inhabitants, and you have humbled yourself before me, and have torn your clothes, and you wept before me. I also have heard you, declares the Lord. Behold, I will gather you to your fathers, and you shall be gathered to your grave in peace, and your eyes shall not see all the disaster that I will bring upon this place and its inhabitants. And they brought back word to the king. Then the king sent and gathered together all the elders of Judea and Jerusalem. And the king went up to the house of the Lord with all the men of Judea and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the priests and the Levites, all the people both great and small. And he read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant that had been found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood in his place and made a covenant before the Lord to walk after the Lord and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all his heart and all his soul, to perform the words of the covenant that were written in the book. Then he made all who were present in Jerusalem and in Benjamin join in it, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem did according to the covenant of God, the God of their fathers. And Josiah took away all the abominations from the territory that belonged to the people of Israel, and made all who were present in Israel serve the Lord their God. All his days they did not turn away from the following of the Lord, from following the Lord, the God of their fathers. All right, I love you. I hope you all have a good day. All right, bye.